allowing people to come and experience your product and then decide if it's for them. And they can touch it, they can feel it, they can see what it's like to experience it in real time, which is so important in the digital world.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of The Spotlight. Today we have Angela Frank with us, and we're super excited to introduce you to this new project. But first, Angela, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
Of course. Well, I'm so excited to be here and reviewing this buyer journey today. I'm Angela. I'm a fractional CMO, and I make growth easy for health and wellness brands.
Awesome. That's exciting. We all need some easy steps for how for day to day. So, the company that we're going to be looking at today is Plunge. Just to give a little bit of context to those who are looking at the show for the first time. What we're trying to do is to show how important it is to have a strategic journey and all of the steps that are involved to taking them from basically a prospect or a lead into an actual customer, and basically how to make them come back to a brand and stay loyal to it. So that being said, let's dive into the company of today, which is pretty exciting because I think it's been a trend for a while now. There's a lot of controversial opinions about it, but really exciting because I'll give the microphone to you, Angela, to give us a little bit of context of what we will be looking at today.
Yeah, so today we'll be looking at Plunge. They create cold plunge tubs and things that you can use to make your own cold plunge for people who are interested in that sort of therapy. I also see here that they're doing a collaboration with Liquid Death, which I love. But one of the cool things that Plunge does is they actually have Andrew Huberman's protocols. So people who are really interested in biohacking, just health and fitness in general, they can really learn about the benefits of the cold plunge. And so we'll be diving in a little bit more of that today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So now that we know and we see here the prices and what the company is about, let's dive into the journey that we put together. Let's see. So, Angela, if someone comes to you, let's say from Plunge with this plan, and you only have the little background that we see from the website, how would you approach a journey like this to make it successful for
Yeah.
you
So
like
the
this?
first thing that I always do when working with a company is assess their website. And we just saw that Plunge has a really great starting point. They have all of their products clearly outlined on the homepage. They also have more resources for people who are looking to learn more. So that's always where I start, making sure that everything that we're going to do from a marketing perspective that points to the website is actually going to point to something that will then convert someone. So looking at the buyer journey here, we're starting out with video, and I really love this as a top of funnel resource because people who are maybe new to cold plunge are going to be really hungry for information, and they want to learn more, not only about the benefits, but they're going to want to learn more about the devices and things that they can do to bring the cold plunge experience into their own home. So here we're looking at the short video on 3 benefits of cold plunge for weekend warriors. I love that. We mentioned that the ICP, or the client profile for Plunge, is going to be biohackers, athletes, and people who are just interested in high performance in general and their health and wellness. Then we're moving into a case study, how cold plunging transforms athletes and professionals. And we're seeing that Plunge is actually doing something very similar to this by offering Andrew Huberman's protocols. It's a way where now you can capture their email and information and give them something of value in return. So then you can go ahead and follow up with your marketing. So I think that's a really great place to start. And then as we move through the buyer journey, you can see that there's like a quiz, a limited time discount, a tailored pricing plan, and bonus accessories offer. I do think in this buyer's journey, I always want to think about ways to increase urgency, and a discount is a great way to do that, but also, limited time colors, other limited time offerings is a great way to increase urgency, but that's also a great way to increase, I'm blanking on the word, scarcity. So if you have limited time colors and offers, not only does somebody maybe want to go and purchase that, but you have a limited quantity. And so now you're taking advantage of urgency and scarcity in your buyer's journey. And that's a great way to create this like, "Ooh, I have to buy now" type of sensation and really encourage people to go through your journey. In that way, you are also not offering a discount. So discounts I like to use very minimally, maybe like 2 times a year you can run a big sale, but discounts will cut into your margin. And if somebody is really interested in purchasing with you, if you give them another reason to go ahead and make that purchase that doesn't include reducing your margin, they will go ahead and do that. And you have more money now to, go out and raise more money or invest in more marketing, and your margins are just better in general. So that's great for the health business.
And I think it's something we mentioned in the last episode is that instead of just taking the value out of your product, why don't you give something that adds value to it? Even if it's just like a promotional umbrella or like a towel, something simple that people just will like it. They'll see it as a value or something that they even sell that is not too crazy, but gives more value to the customer instead of seeing your product at a discount like rate that you can use it to increase sales, but it has to be very segmented and very special times.
Yes, definitely. I love that example. And I think that it's so important to just think about different ways that you can add value to somebody who's making the purchase rather than just providing a discount. Because, like, a discount is great, but again, it cuts into your margin. And so, like you said, if you are offering something additional with the purchase, it's probably not going to be cutting into your margins, especially when we're looking at a high ticket product like Plunge. If you're offering a 10% discount or even a 5% discount, that's quite a lot of money that you are now eating into your margin. Whereas if you have a towel, maybe a limited time towel, that's going to cost a lot less than your 5 or 10% discount on a $9,000 purchase.
Absolutely, way less.
Yeah.
And you're also giving like I feel like you're also giving free promotion because if I use a towel, an umbrella, a T-shirt out there that has the logo of the brand, the name of the brand, it's just adding visibility and curiosity for other people. As long as it has a really great design, which these guys looks like they have that nailed down.
100%.
Awesome. So before we wrap it up, Angela, is there anything you would like to highlight or any other comments you have about the company?
I think just generally speaking, if you are somebody listening to this and trying to create a buyer journey for your own brand, one, start with your website. And then two, think of how you're going to create this ecosystem within your marketing where everything is building upon itself and each other and creating this really cohesive experience. When you do this, you create an element of psychological safety where every experience someone has with your brand is reaffirming their experience that they've had with you. And so you're not giving them any reason to doubt you. If you're on your Instagram and you're using like a bunch of different colors and fonts than you are on your website, that's going to create a moment where somebody's like, whoa, am I in the right place? And it creates this moment of doubt. And so when you just make sure that you're taking the time to keep everything really cohesive, you're going to create a really successful marketing strategy for your brand. So Plunge is clearly doing that, but it's not something that is like totally inaccessible to every brand. Every brand can definitely do this.
Absolutely. And now that you mention that, I'm curious about what do you think about community building for a brand like this? Because I think I've been traveling for a while, and a lot of times I've seen activities like cold plunge at 5 p.m. I'm like, do I want to do cold plunge? But there's a lot of people who just really want to do that together. They see it as a mental exercise. I've seen some groups or broadcast channels on Instagram. So that might also be like a good way if they're like part of that community and just engage with those users because they definitely need to build a lot of trust and people who even have like a group of friends that you would feel motivated to buy a $9,000 stuff uh, to get that over to your house, even if you're like a professional. It's a really big investment.
Yeah. I love tapping into this power of community, not only through things like special groups that maybe you would get access to with your purchase. So you can all talk about the ways that your cold plunge has benefited you or your routine and things like this. But exactly like you said, Ada, the power of meetups is so important as well. I know that there's always fanatics when your brand and the thing that you're tapping into gets large enough. For example, Stairmaster, I don't think it's an official Stairmaster event, but they should really tap into this. People will get together and just climb the Stairmaster like all day long as an event and see who can go the longest. And so these are people who are brand loyal, they're fanatics, they're crazy about what you're doing. And so tapping into that as a brand can be super important. One, for cultivating increased trust and community, but two, allowing people to come and experience your product and then decide if it's for them. And they can touch it, they can feel it, they can see what it's like to experience it in real time, which is so important in the digital world, especially for higher priced products like what Plunge is selling.
Absolutely, I think you're totally right. Thank you so much, Angela. This has been great. It has been fun to touch such a unique product that it's trending nowadays. If our audience wants to know more about you, where can they find
The best place is my podcast, growthpod.fm, has links to all your favorite podcast players. I chat with industry experts, and I also share a little bit about business growth in general on some solo episodes. So if you're interested in learning how to grow your business more efficiently, growthpod.fm.
Thank you so much. And I can testify that they are really great episodes, and it's been very interesting to hear you talk and give some industry trends. So thank you so much for joining us today, Angela.
Thank you so much for having me.